Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Dyrwood's revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whitewind's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Okay, hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. We are, we're about to enter Defiance Bay proper, so let's do that. Okay, looks kinda clear.
Defiance Bay. I miss Adir already.
Ah, okay. You got some just cars around here, some commoners. It's not too bad. These animancers have brought divine wrath upon us all, says commoner. And yet the Duke and his toadies in Crusader Knights do nothing. And we allow these atrocities to continue unchecked. Protester, protester. No, this one's Rowan. Hello, Rowan.
How do you do?
Rowan's arms are crossed. His mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacies no better here. It's the Animancers. Magrams scorch them, and they nest in the city like rats. You mark my words, though. Us dozens are going to put a stop to them. Dozens? He taps his chest. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influences of animancers and the tyranny of aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like militia, the dozens, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honor. His eyes gleam. We're always looking to expand. The more people who see things our way, the better for the state of the country. If you have any interest in hearing more, stop by Adma Stand sometimes, the Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers there can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the animancers want you to believe. Might even be paid work there for motivated types. Can you tell me more about Defiance Bay? This is the capital of the free Platinate of the Dyrwood. We started out as a capital of the Adirian colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world, but we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us the freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Ondra's Gift, Brackenbury, and Heritage Hall. He ticks off each on a calloused finger. Oh, tell me about Copper Lane. This here is Copper Lane. He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district. We've also got the Expedition Hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. It's also where my fellow dozen martyrs and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long, domed building west and north of your position. And that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, if you ask me. They've got the biggest library in the Dyrwood. Canna laughs. Eerie indeed. It might be less so if the kith stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Palxa and see just what mysteries are revealed. Tell me about Brackenbury. A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adir stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadford House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits on the cobblestones. Okay, tell me about First Fires. That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Valiant Embassy, and Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were originally freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their arses. There's an old temple of Vodka there. We keep it real nice for her. He winks. Tell me about Andra's gift. Got the name because it was wetland that was drained back in Imperial days. It was a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs, but it's a fun place too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mast when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Tell me about Heritage Hall. Hill. He shivers. It used to be one of the more prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there, next to an ancient Egwethan tower and the city cemetery. Had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts a rather richer type these days. A lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple of months ago. The authorities sealed it off, and they're keeping their mouths shut. But mark my words, animancy's to blame. Okay, let's talk about something else. What do you want to know? What are you doing out here? He gestures to the crowd, which buzzes with an angry chatter. Trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, but instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about animancy? It's the study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adarians at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or soul reading, though ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Egwethan times, which is why you see animancers tinkering with old Egwethan artifacts. Kana raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths. All. But he's an enthusiastic performer. I'll give him that. He shakes his head. Trouble is, the animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing, at least. Interesting. I'm starting to think that maybe something happened with an animancer here, and this chain gave Aloth his second soul. Anyway, farewell. Or his other life. Whichever it is.
Hey.
Okay. We can't go onto the grass. Grass is forbidden. I just want to have a look at the map of the area. Oh, wow. This is a large area. Okay. And it's all fully revealed. Okay, so we can just kind of go wherever we like. Interesting. Well, I think we will. We'll just go everywhere. So, I'm going to have a look over here first, because this seemed like it was leading nowhere. And I just want to see if there's anybody around. Doesn't look like it. Alright. Well, let's head across the bridge. Okay. Seems like the music's a little bit quiet. Give me a second. Right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Let's head into the Goose and Fox, it says, which presumably is our, like, kind of inn. Oh, also looks like Eddie wants to speak to us, so perfect timing. Okay, interesting place. Got a lot of patrons in it. A lot of these kind of backer added ones. I'm seeing if there's anyone proper. We got an actress. Okay, hello. No, you'll find all sorts. Okay. What we got here? This Delager's pelt is thick with dust and moth. The plaque below the beast reads Maiden Falls 2682. Okay. Bishop will presumably be the bartender, because he's behind the bar. Bodyguard and a noble. And we got this one over there in the corner. Who it's not... Karina. Okay, hello. A woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her, watching it with furious intensity. It's about the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood with a metallic rattle. She snatches it up with one hand and slams an empty cup down on the table with the other. This is not a good time. What are you doing here? She takes a long drink from her glass. Just trying to calm down and trying to talk myself out of something foolish. Something foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, Ganera looks at you, and lamplight falls across her face. A purpling bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. There is something I need to give my fiancé, Persinik. Only, he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and are not exactly pleasant company. Who hit you? She shakes her head. I know how this looks, but you don't understand. It's not like Persinik. It's these new friends of his. They brought out the worst in him. Tell me about the new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I'm not a fool. I know what it means. Persinik makes me leave when they show up, but it's obvious what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. She scowls and winces, her fingertips gently probing her bruise. Okay, interesting. Seth changes you, I guess. The Persinik I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I'd have never thought he'd... She trails off, still feeling the swollen, discoloured flesh. Let's try our intellect. I thought Seth just made people lie around not doing much. Kenra shrugs. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Maybe I could talk to him. Her hand rests on the table as she clenches it into a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I want to give this back to him, and I need a clean break. She opens her hand, a ring clatters onto the table. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. But if I go there back with this myself, I know what will happen. I'll lose my temper. I'll probably wind up with another one of these. She points to her bruise. But I've heard you're trustworthy. If you give this back to him, he'll know we're done. I'll take it to him. She looks at you and nods. The house is just north of here. Please, just don't hurt him. As furious as I am, I don't want that on my conscience. Okay.
Hey.
Interesting. I'll find out what's going on with him, presumably later. Oh, what's this painting? A dragon is outlined in charcoal pencil. The thick, jagged lines and faint smell of sulphur suggest that the artist had completed this sketch in a hurry. Cliff Dragon, White March, 2685. Yeah, I'd imagine if you saw a dragon and you were drawing it, you would definitely do it in a hurry or not at all. Oh, this would be stealing. This would be wrong.
Let's see what's in here. That'll do it.
Oh, perfect. Bartender's Ring. Spirit Bane, Vessel Bane of Will. It's damage against spirits and vessels. This is Durance's ring.
Hey.
You know what? We'll have this too. We don't want nail, actually. We'll leave it. Nobody noticed us stealing, right? We'll just give Durance a ring. There we go. Because he already does his main attack does a lot of damage against vessels, so makes sense.
Slow and silent.
The dwarf and an Orlon debate philosophy at the other side of the curtain. Okay. Actor, merchant. What's this? The painting depicts Glenfathen ruins. The canvas bears rough strokes of a talented amateur. Okay. And over here we got another one, and okay, let's head back to the bar proper and speak to the bartender. Okay. Hello, Bishop.
Welcome.
The man behind the bar is nearly the size of a umawa. A handle protrudes from his back, and his face is set in a stoic frown. A handle protrudes from his back? Okay, fine. He gives you a small nod. Here for a drink. There's a tiny pewter cup in front of him. He turns it in one broad hand, but doesn't drink from it. Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar of Berath. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts. You see a warhammer strapped to his back. Ah, that's the handle we see. What more is there to tell? How'd you go from religion to taverns? The journey isn't as long as you'd think. It started with hollowborn, and with this, he takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills the pewter cup. It was my sister's son. He takes a drink. At the beginning of Wadewind's legacy, he was one of the first. I never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but is followed by rebirth. Yet every year more parents were grieving for their hollowborn children, and the gods were silent. So you lost your faith? He leans forward, crossing his arms on the bar. Berath promises rebirth, cycles, but the only cycle I found was this one. He taps the bar. Have a drink, have another, and then have another until I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up, come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before, and I just hadn't noticed. But they were gone, so I came here. I've cleaned up since then. Not that I've found my answers. He tosses the cup back. I've just stopped asking questions. It's a lively place you got here. It was founded in the early days of Dyrwoodian independence by a travelling scholar named Eora of Levy. He wanted a place where kith of all backgrounds could gather and hash out issues facing their new country. He rests his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. It didn't take long for the place to fill up. Brackenbury aristocrats argued with dockworkers from the gift while soldiers wrangled with politicians. Dyrwoodians have never been known to turn down an argument. He takes a sip from the tiny cup. What happened next? Soon, kith were coming from farms and settlements too. He waves at the door as if expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valian soldiers than the salty mast, and that was the problem. He drains his cup. No matter what people say about the firm-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Eora found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and he disappeared a few days later. Some said it was the work of that Thane. He shrugs, spreading his hands over the bar as he surveys the room. But Eora knew which way the wind was blowing. If you ask me, he skipped town, hid out somewhere, hoping for a rational mind to prevail in Defiance Bay. He cracks a wide grin. If only he could see it now. Well, we'll look at the rooms he has available, but we're not going to stay. What's he got? Ooh, he's got Vixen's Burrows. That's Dexterity Survival Room. Very useful. And Athletics, Mechanics, Range, Accuracy. Ooh, fantastic rooms. Again, I think the cheaper one is better. I think the Athletics and the Ranged Accuracy and the Mechanics was good. But Dexterity, again, is very, very good. Anyway, we're not going to stay here. We, with the music starting again, are going to talk to Edier. Hello, Edier.
The dozens.
He shakes his head with a bitter smile.
Find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Assumed there'd be less of them.
So why did they call themselves the Dozens? There were 12 Dyrwoodians, stood outside Haglet's citadel waiting for the Wade Wind to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. What do you have against the Dozens? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folk, anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked up that name so they could do what they wanted, and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. I like to invoke Magrin too, especially when I want to feel right. Somehow, I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods have probably got rules against that sort of thing. Yeah. Let's see. Surely Magrin has worthier followers. Too bad. There must be plenty of other groups that are better reflections of figures that inspire them, or people hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. There must be plenty of other groups that are better reflections of the figures that inspire them. Sure, I just can't think of any off the top of my head. I shouldn't say that. There's a group of Athosians, the Night Market. They still do right by their god. Helped out a lot of people to safety during the purges. They're easy to forget about, though, because they have to work in secret. You can thank people like that for the Dozens, too. So they were involved with the Godhammer as well? That's what they called the bomb they blew Wade Wind up with. Yeah, of course I know, Edier. We've read the book so many times. Anyway, let's continue on. Good idea. We're going to speak to the hunter as well, but we're going to go upstairs first. Just to see what it's like. Okay. Two-toned Wexel. Also this. Scattered among titles such as Floor of Living Lands, Unity and Dissonance, The History of Deadfire Archipelago, and Treaties on the Coquelin People are half a dozen travel journals held together with twine. A whole bunch of people here who aren't, like, these are all actual people we can talk to. They're not backers. Okay.
Hey.
Hello, Two-Ton Weasel.
Good day to you.
Wexel. An Orlan man reflects as with his feet propped up on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orlan woman with him exchange laughs and comments with the trio at a nearby table. He spins a dagger in his hands. His hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Joining us for a drink? Who are all of you? The name's 2-Ton Wexel. The lady next to me is Key. We've had our fun with the expeditions, but we're hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet for the next few weeks anyway. Matt the next table nods at you. I'm Deadshot Dryden. This is Hurdy and Ilfa. We're part of separate expedition teams. We both suffered losses and decided to band together. He takes several items off his list, off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, bailiwicks. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one too. At the next table, Dradrin raises his glass. And here's to many more prosperous journeys. Is there something else you wanted? I guess not.
Hey.
We'll just be off then? See ya. Unless we have to speak to each of them, but I don't think we will. No. Okay. Let's find some more backers. A painting. Old Valia, Southern Coast, 2670. Okay, we can steal out of that. Probably shouldn't. What have we got in here? We got this, which isn't stealing.
I'll have this open
we'll
in no time.
Yeah, we'll have that. Interesting that the lines went over themselves, but okay. In here, ooh, a book. And the pages of these old books are crisp and fragrant with salt of a sea breeze. Okay. More people, and that would be stealing. Okay. Let's have a look at the book. The Most Unfortunate Tale of Favia and Burnet, a Valian Tragedy. Okay. Well, let's read this. Scene. Lelia watches Bernat approach Favia's tree looking for her human form. Behold, now comes the fun. For that which I have waited, his love is forfeit, her life is forfeit, and all that I have worked toward shall be fulfilled. He says he knows his love. He says no force in the world could keep him from her. But what chance is force against guile? Never will he find his love, for she is no longer his love. The spell cannot be undone except by her death, and then it will be too late. But wait! He has seen her! Leia steps back to observe. Pray, mortal, why have you come here? These woods are not for your kind. The affairs of men have no place at this tree. Leave! Leave here! Your welcome lapses. Foul creature, where is my love? What have you done with her? Always this has been the station for our encounters. Never before have I seen you. Where is my love? Answer! Answer, ere my patience lapses. Fool, this is my land and this is my tree. Your presence never before has been felt. Again I say to you, leave. My generosity will not be extended a third time. Layla steps forward. Talk. Discussion. I know the way to hurry to the conclusion of this tale. Layla takes a breath and extends her throat as if she's yelling, a scream coming from the corpse of trees where the Pigwa stands. My love. Bernat steps forward, brandishing his sword. Prepare yourself, wretch, for not even death can stand between me and my love. I will have her from you, or you will meet your end. Bernat moves towards Favia, who closes to fight. They fight. During the fight, Bernat is grievously injured as he delivers a killing blow to Favia. She falls to the ground, and as she dies, the spell on her breaks, transforming her back into her Telecommand form. Bernat, 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 my love, what have you done to me? What was it I said? What was it I did? Has her love soured your heart? Favia, my love, my life, what foul sorcery has befallen you? How can you come to be laid low by my hand? Fie! Fie to the gods for such treachery! Fie to all those who stood in our way! Fear not, my beloved, for now we are together, and together we'll always be, and nothing can keep us apart. But lo, why is it suddenly so dark? Where's the sun gone? Where are you? I cannot see you. I will find you. I will. Favia dies. A curse upon the fiend who betrayed me, to hold love in your hand and have it wrenched away. Bernat winces and puts his hands in his shirt. It comes out covered in blood. What luck, what chance. Tragedy may yet turn to fortune. Favia, my love, soon I will rest in your arms. We will lie together again as one. Forever shall we be side by side. I go now to meet my love. Barath, accept your cold embrace. I welcome your company. I beg your mercy. Brat lays down next to Favia's body. I am ready. Bernat dies. Layla steps out from her hiding spot and runs to Bernat's body. Bernat, you fool, you wretch! How can you leave me? I am alone. I am forgotten. I am cast out. Without your love, how can I continue? Life holds no thrall without your visage upon which I may gaze. But what shall I do? But hear my salvation, my answer. Layla picks up Bernat's sword. His blade, his weapon. I shall be impaled upon him, and he shall cut through me. I will not be denied my love. I will not be denied my love. You will be mine, if not in this life, then in the next. Layla impales herself upon the sword. I come for you, my love, Bernat. Wait for me, and I will find you. We shall love forever. Layla dies. Interesting. Well, that seems like a point to end the episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.